Nothing's actually been announced so far. This is what we're hearing from people familiar with the situation, that Prime Minister Sunak has authorized strikes with the U.S. We've known for some time the U.S. and the U.K. have both threatened what they say will be consequences for the continued barrage by the Houthis against commercial ships in the Red Sea. And after you had the heaviest barrage yet a couple days ago, 21 drones and missiles by the Houthis that were shot down by both U.S. and U.K. ships in the region, essentially they were forced to respond. So it appears that is likely in the next hours or days.
Nick, what about retaliation? Because we've already heard from the leader of the Houthis that, what they call American aggression will be responded to forcefully.
Right. I mean, that's the big question. So everything we've heard so far from the Houthis is that they will be undeterred by any potential military action. Obviously, we're trying to determine what form that action would take, how extensive it would be, how wide-ranging across Yemen. But, this has been an issue with the Houthis for some time. Saudi Arabia has been engaged in a war against the Houthis for several years now, and the group has only continued to expand and expand its foothold in Yemen. So deterrence efforts and efforts to really roll them back so far have not succeeded. It's a big question facing policymakers, and it's why we've been waiting for so long for them to take action, because they don't want to do so much that the conflict in the region would expand to an even wider war, but they do want to get the Houthis to stop what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, this is really complicated because there are several countries in that coalition that wouldn't want to have any part of this, right? It's right. Potentially France would want to do something on its own or wouldn't want to have Spain. Qatar has said, do not get involved like this. This is going to be very serious for the region. So this is a very serious action that potentially the UK and US might take. Will other countries join, or will it just be a bilateral action?
Well, I think, certainly at this stage you would only see bilateral action. Other countries in that maritime task force that was established late last month, I mean, they were so concerned about the optics of being associated with that task force that some didn't even want their names to be known. They didn't want it to be publicly announced that they had joined the task force. So there's a lot of sensitivity there. I think what you're going to see is, if these strikes do go ahead, would be a very explicit statement on the behalf of the UK and the US that they are doing this separately from the task force, which is really, they say, a defensive measure aimed at protecting ships, and not, very intentionally, not the grouping that would be going after the Houthis.